It's amazing how much harder it actually works in those 20 seconds.
Do a little check my monkey on the accesses and stuff, and then I'll leave you to it. So that's playing and charging.
Articulating.
Articulating.
Okay.
It is quite hard to find, isn't it, sometimes? Don't know how to do it.
Rest Pauline, which is straight in.
Yeah, Pauline's hardcore. Oh, yeah.
It's watching back. You don't realise what a loon you actually are when you watch it.
I know.
So you need confirmation.
Yay! Hiya, Patsy. Buenos dias, Patsy. Mucho tiempo. Right, my little lovely faces. As a minute getting late on, we've been live for 1 minute, so we'll wait about 30 or 40 seconds and we'll crack on. Eliane and Karen are with us. Welcome, welcome. Derek's in the shower. Pauline thinks he's okay. If you hear a loud thud, you're excused to go and check to make sure he's all right.
Don't forget to send your post-mortem photographs.
Hi, Maggie. Good job. So today is going to be Pilates and a lot more sort of relaxing and mobility for the end of the week, I thought. Stretch out those poor little muscles that Sid's been working hard. Coolio. Right. Let's get ready. Goggles off.
Goggle box.
Goggle box. Perfect. Okay, hopefully you're all armed and ready. Sid's recovering on the sofa. Right, let's stand nice and neutral stance. Stand nice and tall, think about your position. Pelvic floor nice and engaged, core tight. Stand tall and let's breathe. So fill your air, fill your lungs with air, breathing out into your ribs, not into your belly. So nice deep breath in. Breathe out through your mouth. So we bring those ribs in, funnel those ribs in to your belly button. So a few more breaths, breathing in and out. And again. And out. Perfect. Arms out to the side. We'll do our rotation. So nice gentle breath in. We'll rotate as you breathe out. Are we ready? Nice breath in. Rotate. Keep your feet planted. Breathing out. Breathe into center. Breathe out. Rotate. And again, breathe into center. Breathe out and rotate. Last time, breathe in. Last time, breathe out and rotate. Breathe into center. Perfect. Arms down to the side. Let's do some side stretches. Just slide the hand down the thigh. Feel the stretch. And come back up. Back to neutral. Make sure everything's nicely under line. Tilt to the inside. Slide down that thigh. And up. And again. Down to the first side. Slide down the thigh. Still keep those cores engaged. and chin. Back up to centre. Perfect. Let's do our back articulation. So our knees are soft, tucking our chin and rounding down bone by bone. So think about your thoracic vertebrae, so your cervical vertebrae, thoracic, down to your lumbar, all the way down, keeping our knees soft. Let's curl ourselves up. Nice and steady, stand tall and breathe. So nice neutral stance on those feet. In through your nose and out through your mouth. Perfect. Let's go down to the floor. Let's get to our neutral position. So feet hip distance apart, in contact with the floor, knees are bent, going straight up. Pelvis is neutral, so your ribs and the hip bones are level. There's a slight natural arch in your back. And then if you find your neutral, tilt your pelvis up, so your low back prints into the mat. Then tilt your pelvis down, so you have your massive arch. Then in between the two is your neutral pelvis. Going back to our shoulder blades, feel how they feel on the floor. Nice neutral chin, so your airways aren't affected. And have your hands to the side. Perfect. Okay, let's go for our hip release first of all. So let's have a nice deep breath in, belly button to spine, tilt your pelvis so your lower back is imprinted into the mat, and extend your right leg. So put a slight flex in the knee, and what we are doing is rotating that thigh bone in the hip socket. So keeping the hips static, core is engaged, just rotate that leg in the socket, nice and gentle. Feel the movement, feel the hips loosening off. Perfect. Lower that leg and let's extend the other. So extend your left leg, so you have a slight flex in your leg, in your knee, and rotate the thigh bones. Move the thigh bones, circle it in the hip socket. So it's not a flexing of the knee, it's not a flexing of the ankle. It literally is the rotation of that thigh bone in your hip socket. Keep your core nice and engaged, particularly along the hip bones, in between the hip bones, and that back into the mat. Perfect. Turn that foot back down to the ground. Going to do our leg openings, our hip openings. So we're going to keep our left leg how it is. So the foot's on the floor and the knee is at 90 degrees. I'm going to open out our right leg like a petal on a flower. Okay? So nice deep breath in. Make sure your core is engaged, your back is pinned and your pelvis is tilted up. Under control, open out your right leg. Keep your glute engaged. So I'm not looking for it to come all the way out. That would mean our back is arched and we haven't kept contact with the mat. So the aim is to keep the core tight, back pinned, glutes engaged, and keeping that your hips flat on the mat. Open out your right leg. Feel pulling your groin and come back up. Like a stretch. So if you want, you can put your fingers over your hip bones. Feel they stay flat and don't tilt off at all. Couple more. Keep those hips static and that core engaged. Let's change sides. So our right leg is going to stay bent and stay stable. I'm going to open out our left leg. Your feet are more together, I should say, in this one. They're not too far apart there. Your feet are really touching. So core nice and tight. Deep breath in, back pinned. Hips are static. Open out your left leg. And bring them back in. Keep everything nice and tight. Keep that back pinned and those hips static. Perfect. Short rest, then we're going to do both legs at the same time. So we start with our feet together. Our knees are bent. We will take a nice deep breath in. Tilt your pelvis, belly button to spine. Make sure your back is imprinted into the mat. Put your fingers over your iliac crest, and then open out both legs. So keep that core tight and its hips nice and static. Again, your feet also open out like a book, as do your knees. You end up with your soles facing each other. Really important, keep the core engaged and the back pinned. And release up the hips by opening out the knees, keeping the glutes engaged. Back is pinned. Straight into that floor. One more. Perfect. Let's get back to neutral. So feet hips apart, toes nice and flat, neutral pelvis, neutral chin, and just rest. Let's go for our shoulder blades now. So extend your arms up into the air, palms are facing, your hands are directly above your shoulders or just a little bit wider. We're aiming to get as much of our shoulder blade pinned onto that mat. So we're going to be doing 5, reaching up, peeling off the floor and dropping down. Just feel how you can expand that back, get as much contact as possible. We've got 4 more, reaching up, dropping back. Nice and steady. And let them drop in the stage. Got 2 more. Right. Right. Keeping our arms in the air now and our shoulder blades pinned to the mat. Take a nice deep breath in, tilt your pelvis and then pinch your lower back into the mat. Keep that tension and the contact with the floor with your shoulder blades. Hands overhead and touch the floor. Need a slight flex in your elbow, absolutely perfect. We're going to do 3 more. But keep your core engaged, back pinned. Shoulder blades touching. Hands overhead, then to the floor. 2 more. Definitely tight, back pinned. Last time. Bring your arms back up, rotate your palms, lower your hands to the floor, back to our neutral position, and just breathe. Good. Just going to close my door. A bit chilly. Okay, so let's bring both our knees into our chest. A little roll up so our lower backs are actually pinned into that mat. We're going to do our single leg stretch. So we're going to be extending out one leg, keeping our core into our chest, then we can exchange and push out. Okay? The important thing is to keep that core nice and engaged. You can keep your head on the mat or have your head on the cushion, but still keep that lower back pinned into the floor and those core muscles activated. We're going to do 5 pairs. So let's all start together, a little curl up, both knees into our chest. Take a nice deep breath in, make sure your belly button in your spine, shoulder blades up if you wish, or your head on the block, choice is yours. Let's go for our 5 pairs. So push out that leg. As you're pushing out with your leg, push into the mat with your lower back, keeping that core beautifully flat. Up and change. Push out. Then we have active legs, got a slight rotation in that femur. Make ourselves as long as possible. That was 1 pair done. So pause at the stretch, really drawing in our bent knee, pushing away our extended leg, glutes are tight, core is tight, back is pinning into the mat. 2 sets done. This is pair 3. Keep that core tight, have a nose down, make sure those abs are drawn in. This is pair number 5, our final one. And perfect. Draw both knees in. Lower yourself back down to the floor if your shoulder blades are up, feet to the ground, nice neutral position, and let's breathe. We're going to practice our breath into our ribs, up into the sides, and as we breathe out each time, drawing our ribs further and further in, funneling those ribs to our belly buttons. And do our two-legged scissor stretch. So again, bring both hands into your chest and a little roll to help ensure your lower back is pinned into the mat as I extend both our legs. So what I would like to see are extended Pilates legs. You've got that slight rotation, both in the quads and the calves. If your hamstrings are too tight, then by all means keep a slight flex in your legs, but still try and create tension and push through your feet, your toes. Okay, so we're going to go over 5 pairs. So nice deep breath in, draw your belly button into your spine, keeping that back briefly pinned. Activate those legs if you're having them straight, or keep them nice and flexed for the hamstring stretch. And lower down. So as we're here, we're pulling this nice straight leg forward and pushing as far away as you can with our extended leg. 5 pairs. Push. So pause at the stretch. Number 2. Keep your core tight, back pinned. Only lower that extending leg as far as you can without your back coming up. 2. 4. Really make yourself long. And 5. Perfect. Both legs back together. Bend at the knee. Feet down to the ground. And rest. Good job. Let's take both our arms out to the side. Keeping our feet together, ankles and knees together, we're going to start doing the rock side to side. So nice deep breath in. Then go to spine, still imprint your back into the floor, and rotate very slightly to the right and left. We'll do 6 pairs. Really think of your core and keeping that back lovely and tight and pinned to the floor as much as possible. Of course, it's going to come up to a swing our legs to the side, but we're still focusing on drawing everything in and keeping nice and static. Got 3 more pairs. 3. That feels stretching, increasing your weight. Nice and controlled. 2. 1 more. Perfect, back to centre. This time we're going to keep our arms where they are. Prepare as the same, we're going to stay and hold on the right hand side. So nice deep breath in. Draw your belly button into your spine, still touch your pelvis so your back is imprinted. Keeping that tension now, bring both your legs off to the right. Keeping our knees stacked, ankles and feet stacked. That core is activated, so we activate it by putting it in. Before we start leaning, we're going to feel the stretch and put it all the way across. Let's hold. Keep that core tight, massively important. 3, 2, 1, back to centre. Have a realignment, make sure you're back to nice neutral position. We're going to go to the other side. So nice deep breath in, belly button to spine, so that pelvis is tilted, the back is imprinted into the mat, ankles and feet are stacked together, and we're tilting over to the left hand side. Keep that core tight. The difference in the stretch of having the core active and not as massive. Keep drawing that core in, don't let me release. Perfect, back to centre. Back to neutral, draw your hands in, have them either on your hip bones or to the floor. Let's draw a couple of relaxing breaths. So nice neutral pelvis, neutral chin. Okay, let's do our 100. So you have the choice of leg positions again. You have this neutral position here with our feet flat, knees bent. We have our tabletop position, as long as our lower back is pinned into the mat, legs up at 90, feet up at 90. We have our extended legs with our active Pilates legs. We have the rotation of the femur and the strengthening and the pointing of the toes. We have our 100s. Are we ready? So I'll see you on the other side and have a short rest. Nice deep breath in. Let's go. Belly button to spine. Tuck your chin, hide your shoulders up if you wish. Choose your leg position. Keep that core tight. Looking down that navel, drawing in and all times. If he drops out, stop and reset. And halfway, a little reset, make sure everything's nice and drawn in. Really draw in that core, make them work. 40 to go. You're drawing them in. Now last 10, really keep your core tight. Suck it right in, really focus on drawing that core into your back. When you are done, lower yourself back to the floor. And give yourself a little cuddle. Go back to a neutral stance. We'll rest for a moment. Bring back your breath. Your neutral position. Everything's all nice and aligned. We're going to do our roll up now. So those who are working on your strength, start getting yourself up as high as you can. So think about engaging your core, drawing your belly into your spine, tucking your chin, just peel yourself up as far as you comfortably can, and lower yourself back down. Stay much control, so try not to drop. Think again of your back, being like a pizza slice or cogs in a wheel, each bone making contact as we go up and down. Those who have the strength so far will do 5 roll-ups and roll-downs. You have your legs bent or straight, depending on what you find more comfortable. So let's go. So doing our 5 roll-ups, keep that core nice and tight, tuck your chin, peel yourself up to a nice vertical position, and then back down with the 5 of these. So draw everything up and into your diaphragm. Nice and steady and controlled throughout. I'm going to finish in up the position. Good. So those who are just on the bottom phase, you need to get yourself up and draw your knees into your chest and do a little bit of momentum to pull yourself up to a 6th position. We're going to work on our roll like a ball. So those who are still gaining the strength can have your cushion or pillow behind you, or rolled up towel. As you do the roll back as a ball, you can catch it just behind you to bring yourself back up. Those of us who are able to do the roll ball, let's go for 5. So nice deep breath in, draw everything up, and sit up and in. Take our toes off the floor, so we're sitting off our seat bones. Then don't be too tight on your ball. So you can have your powerhouse, your core under control, and your hands on your thigh. Nice grounding in your back. As we roll down, just to our shoulder blades and back up. Again, what I don't want to see is going all the way up to your heads. None of that. Okay? So 5 beautiful rolls. Think about using your core to get you back up. Don't pull on your arms or bend the legs from momentum. So nice and steady, 5 roll up upwards. So nice deep breath in. Engage the core up and in. Lifting those ribs so you get a nice C curve onto your sit bones and roll. When you're done, nice and good position. Legs are as comfortable. Just breathe. And put a nice strong spine. Engage those core, make it as tall as possible. Okay, so we're going to do the saw. So have your legs out at 45 degrees, so not too far. It means that we have a lovely straight spine with our natural curves, so not rounding the as upright as we can. If you have tight hamstrings or restriction in your pelvis, sit on a block or a cushion to change the angle very slightly, or have your feet, your knees bent to help comfort. We have our arms out to the side, but like active legs, if you're able to have your legs straight. So think about activating those muscles, feet up to the ceiling, nice deep breath in. As we breathe out, we're going to rotate to the opposite side, the back of the hand to the other foot. So push against the side of that foot and feel the stretch coming in and back. Perfect. Breathe out, scoop. Right, breathe in. Breathe out and rotate. And the opposite foot, keep those legs active. Feel that stretch in the back. Perfect. Breathe in and scoop to centre. Breathe out and rotate. Last time, breathe out and rotate. Breathe in, back to centre. Perfect. Have your legs however is comfortable, crossed straight, one in, one out, don't mind. Then think about your pelvis. Almost like tilting so your bits and bobs are facing to the ground more, which helps elongate your spine. Let's plant one arm to the side and extend one arm up in the air. Go between 2 panes of glass and let's lean over and stretch. We're going to say it's a mix of the two today, so more some Pilates moves and some movement and stretching. Back to centre and change. Arm up, rotate. Rotate. One more time, arm up and rotate. Stretching. Still draw that core in. I haven't let the abs disengage. Back to centre. Last time in direction. Perfect. Have your hands just on your knees. Look after our neck and shoulders. Let's have a look to the left. So think of a lovely position. So our spine is nice and tall. Make ourselves nice elongated. Now in the session where we sort of squeezed our bum and sucked our pelvic floors up, or that helps elongate you, makes you nice and tall and sit strong. So in that position, core engaged, nice active back and pelvic floor, look to the left and look to centre. Look to the right and centre. Lower your head gently. Don't let the traps rise. Centre, look up. And centre. Perfect. Let's go onto the floor now onto our toes. We're going to make ourselves comfy and breathe. So have your hands in a little triangle onto the floor and rest your forehead there. Focus on your breathing. So you don't need to breathe into your belly. Think about filling your ribs at the side like gills in a fish. So nice deep breath, but filling our ribs, not our bellies. Okay, so let's have a rest. Perfect. Let's work now on our lower back exercises. So we're contracting our lower back and extending our abs. So we have a nice deep breath in. Then into spine. Push your hips into the mat. So you've got strong, active legs. So you have so the point of your toes. If you're really trying to work those muscles, then your glutes and hamstrings all the way down to the ground. Keeping our core gripping tight. Gaze to the ground. Squeeze for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Perfect. And rest. Next time we're going to have our arms out to the side. So we're going to roll our shoulder blades into our back pockets. They're nice and flat and active. And that chest up off the mat. So are we ready? Nice deep breath in. Bottom part first, so belly button to spine. Squeeze those hips into the ground, activate that lower back. The chest is up, arms up and that side like a fork. Let's hold for 5, 4. Core looking tight. 3, 2, 1. Perfect. And rest. This time our arms need to be out in front of the Superman. So exactly the same. Nice deep breath in. Through your belly button to spine. Push your hips into the mat. Activate those legs. Bring our arms out in front. Keep your gaze to the ground. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And relax. Head back to the floor. Final exercise. We have our arms out to the front. We're going to scoop them round. We have them behind, pointing towards our toes. Okay, so nice deep breath in. Belly button to spine. Draw that core really in tight. Push the hips into the mat. Activate those legs. So it's just the top part of your thighs are touching the floor. Arms out in front. Scoop them round. Point towards your toes. Chest up. Core nice and tight. Feeling your direct to spine area working. Ready for 4, 3, 2, 1. And rest. Good job. So just back to our neutral position. Head on your hands. Feel your breath into your ribs. While we are here with your quad stretch. So lying quad stretch. Reach behind and grab your leg. Keeping your hips into the mat. So if you're feeling any discomfort, if you can't reach or hurt your knee, that's any part of your body, don't force the leg back. You're going to reach your trainer or shoe, absolutely perfect. You're going to bring your heel into your bum. To increase the stretch, think about pushing your hips more into the ground. So it lifts up the lower part of your thigh a bit more. We're going to feel that stretch in the front of our thigh. Okay, so let's keep your legs together. So we're not sort of wandering out. Think about extending that quad. So whilst you're holding it, you're trying to create that stretch by pushing those hips in. 5 more seconds. You lift your head down if you wish. 4, 3, 2, 1. Perfect. Release nice and gently. Change sides. So grab that leg, bring it into your bum. You can increase the stretch and push the hips more into the ground. Move through the stretch. Try and relax. Both hands out, head back onto the ground and breathe. Great, let's go for a cat and cow stretch. So scoop your arms down to the side and bring yourself up to your hands and knees. So we're going to make sure that we are in our box position. So our hands are directly under our shoulders and our knees are under our hips. So keep your core nice and tight. Our cat first, so that we drop our head and drop our hips, round our back and then push through the heels of our palms. So are we ready for a neutral position? Nice deep breath in. Draw that belly button up and into your rib cage, round that back, drop your head and push through the floor with those hands. Perfect. Back to neutral. So now we're going to go for a cow stretch. We're going to lift our hips and lift our head, and so sort of dropping this part of our core. But keep that core nice and tight and make yourself as long as possible. Okay, so nice and neutral, core tight, squeeze your glutes, lift your head and lift your hips. Really feel the stretch coming through your core. Again, keep yourself in your box position, your knees directly over your hips. Perfect, back to neutral. Okay, let's go again. So nice deep breath in, go for the cat. So we're dropping our head, dropping our hips, arching our back. Back to neutral, keep that core tight, engage the glutes, head up, hips up. Perfect, back to neutral. So go down to our forearms, down onto our haunches, and stretch. Perfect. So back up to our forearms, back up to our hands and knees. We're going to go for our pointy dog. Right, hands are down there. We're going to be on our hands and knees into our perfect box position. We're going to extend one leg. Those who are already stable enough will extend the opposite arm straight off. We're going to do it once without the arms and once without the legs. For those who are practicing, those who are more stable already can go for the arms straight off. So let's have a nice deep breath in. Make sure you're starting in that beautiful box position. Plant your right toe to a high discomfort for stability and push out your left heel. So it's in line with your body. Your toe is pointed to the ground. You're pushing your heel away as long as possible, making yourself nice and long. And extend your right arm, those who can. Those who are still working on the balance, keep your arm down for now. So really point far away, leg in straight and strong, holding for 5 more seconds. 4, nice and long. 3, 2, 1. Perfect. Back to center. Let's change them over. So reset your breath, starting from your box position. Plant your left toe, we're going to extend our right leg. So again, your toes down, pushing your heel against the far wall. Core nice and tight, glutes engaged. If you're balanced, extend your arm. So if you saw it first time round, then no arms. 5 more seconds. Keep that core drawn in. Leg living straight. Strong. Push that heel away. 3, 2, 1. Perfect. Back to center. Okay, back to our first leg. Plant your right toe. Nice deep breath in. Draw your belly button into your spine. Squeeze it up. Push out your left leg. Loving straight. Land your body toe to the ground. Push your heel away. When you're balanced, extend your right arm. Keep your gaze down to the ground for me. So push your heel away and your fingertips away, making yourself as long as possible. Core tight, glutes engaged. 5 more seconds. 3, 2, 1. Perfect. Back to center. Last time on the other leg. Plant your left toe. Core loving and tight. Extend that right leg. Toe down. Push your heel away. Extend your left arm. So now push away with your fingertips of your left. Push your heel away as far as possible. Keep your gaze to the ground. Core tight, bum tight. 4, 3, 2, 1. Perfect. Draw your limbs back in. Down to your elbows. onto your haunches, stretch out. Put your forward, over onto your back. Going to work on stretching out our hamstrings. So, make yourself nice and comfortable. On your back, we'll work on our hamstrings. Okay? Let's start with our left leg, bring him up in the air. Don't keep the knee slightly flexed. It's not about getting the leg in as far as possible, so it means we bend it more. So the knee isn't locked out, so just a soft knee, and then draw the leg in as far as you necessary so you feel the stretch in the hamstring. And it's not about getting it all the way in, but where you feel the stretch. So what we're going to do is really flex our foot at this point now. So pushing the heel up to the ceiling and draw that leg in. You're going to feel that stretch a little bit more. Body nice and static. The position of your right leg also affects the stretch. If it's too far out, it might make the stretch more comfortable. Make sure your right leg is nice and in line with your hip. But really keep that foot flexed. Got 5 more seconds. Feel that stretch. 3, 2, 1. Perfect. Let's flex and point. So really try and work those calves. Get the circulation going in the lower part of our bodies. Take a 4 more. Really point. Don't rush in. 3, 2, 1. Perfect. Let's do our rotations now. So clockwise and anti-clockwise 5 times. Get nice full range. And change direction. Perfect. Really rest and put them down. He's going back up again very shortly. Okay, so bring him back up into the air. Flex that foot again, so feel that stretch coming through all the way down the back of the leg, hopefully. Now we're going to bend that left leg and put the ankle of our left onto our knee of our right. Keeping those hips nice and flat and static. We're going to push out gently the left knee with our left hand. Really keep those hips nice and static. If you're in discomfort in your ankle or your knee, then please don't do this exercise. Reach through now and grab your right leg and bring both your legs together. So your left leg is bent over your right knee. You've grabbed your right leg and brought it into your chest. So if you're feeling the stretch now all the way around your left glute and hamstring. And extend your right leg if you wish. Help bring the stretch in further. If you're feeling it fine bent, absolutely perfect. 4, 3, 2, 1. Superb. Untangle our legs and let's change sides. We're going to extend our right leg. So bring them in. Again, we have nice just a flex in the knee. It's not about getting your leg in all the way in so your leg is bent. Just take them off, lock, draw that leg in. Got pointy toe first of all. Natural foot. Now we're going to flex our foot. So pushing that heel up to the ceiling. Really feeling that stretch. You need to sort of take the tension off the leg a bit more because of the flex. Absolutely fine. As long as you're feeling it stretching through. Relax the flex. There you go. Give them a little rest. And let's bring your right leg back up. Again, we're going to flex and point now, so 5 times. Don't rush the movement. Really bring the toe down as far as it's comfortable, feeling the stretch kick in. And we point the toe, think about really elongating that leg. So try to work the calf muscles, and you're pumping the blood, getting that circulation going. But don't rush the movement. Really stretch. And let's do our rotations, 5 clockwise, 5 anti-clockwise. Good. Very nice. And lastly, pull. Right, bend your right leg. So your right ankle is on your left knee. Keeping your pelvis nice and flat. push out your right knee with your right hand. Don't let your pelvis tilt. Keep your back pinned into the mat. Hip static. Let's reach through now and grab our left leg and bring them all in. We can have that left raised leg down or extend to help increase the stretch. The choice is yours. And let's release. So untangle your legs. Good job. I'd like to bring both your knees into your chest and a little rock to flatten that lower back. What we're going to do now are 5 of these, and we curl our bums just off the floor. Just nice and controlled, just loosening out that lower back. If you want your knees wider, so sit either side of your chest, absolutely fine. But think about curling your bum, your hips off the floor. Doesn't matter how high it is. Just have to loosen off that lower back. 2 more. 4. 1 more. Perfect. Let's have our legs together now. So our feet are together, ankles together, knees together. Back to our earlier stretch, arms out to the side. We're going to go take our effort stacked off to the right hand side. So keep your left shoulder down, your legs are stacked together, and you're taking the knees over to the right. Keep that core nice and tight. Feel the stretch going on from your back, all the way around the back of your shoulder, and your ribs and towards the front. Back to centre, off to the left. So we've got our knees off to the left, we keep our right shoulder pinned to the floor. Feet, ankles and knees are stacked. Good job. Back to centre. Perfect. Bring our knees into our chest. We need a little bit of momentum to bring ourselves up to sitting. We're going to finish off the hamstrings in this position. So, have your left leg straight, your right leg is bent. It doesn't matter how high you bring your right bent leg. What I don't want to do is to force it too far up your leg. It's down by your calf, absolutely fine by your knees. Wherever is naturally comfortable, don't put any more strain on that left, on the right knee. So, let's have our toes up, sitting up nice and tall. Make sure your hands stay level. Don't want your hands to change. And however far you can get with your level hands, is how far I'd like you to go. Just make a mental note of how far you have got. Come up from that stretch, take your bent right leg over the top, hug your right leg with your left hand. Take your right hand behind and twist your body. So your ribs are on your bent right leg. Make your boobs faster. Really pull, feeling that stretch hopefully coming around you through on the glute and on your back. 5 more seconds. Tick your nose. 3, 2, 1. We're going to go back now, straight into that first stretch. Leg to the side, hands level, and reaching forward and see if we've got any further forward. So the quicker the transition from the leg over the top back to here, the better. Bit of reciprocal inhibition. Perfect. Let's change over. So have our right leg straight and our left leg bent. Going only as far up on your leg as is comfortable. And we have a nice active extended right leg. Standing nice and tall, having our hands level, though we're not going off centre. Only go as far forward as you can with your level fingers. It's easier if you were to go, quite easy to go further if you don't have your hands level. It's not the point of the stretch. So only as far as our level hands allow. And release. So bring our left leg over. Our right arm cuddles our left leg. Our left arm goes behind and pulls us round. So you feel the stretch through your left glute and right shoulder. Looking the other direction, really bring that leg in. And a few seconds time, we're going to go back to the first stretch. We're going to keep our right leg extended, that's not changing, and bring our bent leg back to the side. 3, keep pulling in, 2, 1. Leg back to the side, hands up and stretch. Perfect, release that stretch. We're going to now put our legs back to where we find comfortable, crossed, sitting on a block, one leg in, one leg out, don't mind. We're going to do our side stretches. Plant your right hand, extend your left arm, let's go back over. Make you feel a little bit more flexible. Back up, plant your left hand, extend your right arm and lean. Let's repeat. Plant your right hand, extend your left and stretch. Lovely stretch. Back to center, plant your left, extend your right. Good. Back to neutral. Place your hands now either on your knees, on the floor to the side, however you find comfortable, but think about your posture. Tilt your pelvis so your bits and bobs are facing down. You have a nice tall spine. We're going to look to our left for our neck. Keep it nice and neutral. Look to your left. Be mindful of your traps. Your shoulders keep them nice and static. Back to center, to our right. Back to center, drop your chin. Back to center, lift your chin into control. Back to center, perfect. Okay, we're going to take ourselves up to standing. So to bring yourselves onto all fours and stand up bit by bit. Get ourselves up. Rearrange the wardrobe. Everybody up? Good job. So we have a slightly wider foot stance, arms out to the side, and we're going to take our left hand over to our right foot, and we're going to bend our right knee to assist in ourselves getting down. So there's a bit of a side lunge going on with our legs, but we're bending the foot that we're getting to and coming back in. So not too rushed, enjoy that stretch. So as you put your hand on the opposite foot, pull against him to increase that stretch, get a little bit more rotation. All okay? One more pair. Last time. Perfect. Bring your legs back in. Let's have a nice deep breath. So not nice neutral stance, legs not too close together. Big breath in. Make yourself lovely and tall. Peel everything off the floor. Make yourself as long as possible. Breathe out, arms down. Little shake off, have a recovery breath at your own pace. Let's go again. Nice deep breath in and up. Push to the ceiling. Breathe out and down. And shaky shakes. Absolutely super. Let's do our articulation. So keeping our legs nicely bent. Tuck your chin. Roll yourself down. And then ragdoll. All the way down. Feel all the parts of the spine. Bring ourselves up. So nice and tall. Perfect stuff. So one more deep breath. All the way up. Big old stretchies. And wonky right foot. And down. Good. Simply a shake off. Roll your shoulders back and feel the looseness hopefully coming and developing in your shoulder blades. 4 of those. 3, 2, 1. Muscle shake. And that's you lot done, dear. Beautifully done. So you say today was more stretching and a little bit of Pilates, just get a bit more mobility in. And I hope you enjoyed it. So we'll see you tomorrow, 11 o'clock, Fit Over 50s. Ciao for now.